and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Thursday, the 14th of November. I am Flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. It's been a quiet week for me. I said I've been adding lots on various things of kind of doing family things and been away doing bits and I've hosted a charity quiz one night this week. We're doing all sorts of stuff. Not been much on the vids. To be fair, not been missing much on the horses either. We had a dabble on Tuesday, which was not successful. I think we got one placed horse out of 5, no return. There was a slight discrepancy, I think, because it was £15 stake. I actually wrote it slightly wrong underneath, so I think anyone who followed it, it might have added up to 14. I'll count it as 15 for the channel because that was the intention. So mine's 15. Just chuck it on with the rest. So what have I got for Thursday? Well, it was a risky one, and I've ruled that out. And then I had 2 marginals, and I've ruled it out. And I'm just going to go with the 2 horses. And what I'm going to say to you is, and maybe I've lost my mind because it's sort of been a bit up and down. Maybe I have, but I've got 2 horses. 2 of them. One of them is a 5-star horse. I haven't had a 5-star horse since I've been back on the vids, have I? But I've got one. Do you want to know what odds it is? 200 to 1. So, clearly, for some folk, I'm just getting desperate. I'm scraping the barrel. And, I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. So, I'm about to show you 2 horses that I'm going to put up on the channel. £7 stake on the 2 horses. And one of them's 200 to 1. And I'm going to try and explain to you why I think it's a good bet. And arguably the best bet I've had since I've been back. And it's 200 to 1. It's an absolute donkey as well. It is a donkey. Guys, it's free will. You make your choices. I'm genuinely, seriously going to put this money on. I have put money on. To be fair, I need to do the channel bet, but my own money has already gone down. So here's what I'm chatting about, folks. We'll do the second horse, and we'll come back to the first horse. But the bet is the 12.55 Market Rasen, 8-runner maiden after midnight, 5-star horse, 200 to 1. 7.30 Chelmsford above 1 star, 20 to 1. We've got a 75p each way double, a £2 each way single on after midnight, and a 75p each way single on above. £7 that should add up to. Sky and Betfred are 4 places on this race. They are preferable. 365 might do it in the morning. Everybody's standard terms on that one. Above, basically, if you excuse last time, I think it bled from the nose. I mean, this season it's run 9 times. 3 of them were under par, 6 of them were fair. And so if you get a fair run out of it, it should be a framer horse. So it's the price it is because of what happened to it last time. Hopefully they've got the horse sorted. It runs well at a variety of tracks, including Chelmsford. It's not really run a bad race, to be honest, at Chelmsford. It's not over 6 furlongs. It's 6 furlongs. It's 6 furlongs. It's not. Or is it 7? 6 or 7? Whatever it is. The last 3 times run at Chelmsford, it's run on the same distance, and it's not been framing, but actually it's run competitively enough and not been far away. So that's in. Right, after midnight, 5 stars. Let me explain to you why I think that is allegedly the best bet I've had since I've been back. Right, so just to make sure we're all on the same page here, I am not saying the horses are worldly and it is put your house on it because it's guaranteed to win. I would be shocked if the horse wins. Really, genuinely shocked. I'm backing it because I think the placed value is absolutely fantastic at 200 to 1. So, the reason being, 8 horses in the race, and I've written a couple of notes here and stuff because I wanted to make sure deserves a little bit more of an explanation on this one. So I'm going to talk you through each horse, not just after midnight. We'll get to after midnight. Right, so you've got the favourite. The favourites, money's gone in. Since the market opened, money has gone in on the favourite, which is Rulabua. Now around about 4 to 9, 2 to 5. So we've got an odds-on favourite, which is taking up massive, sucking up the market. So we talked the other night about over-round figures and market percentages and that kind of stuff. So basically, Rulabua is around a 70% chance of winning. So if you bear that in mind, even money chance is like a 50-50. We've got Rulabua, 70% chance ballpark figure at that kind of price. So therefore, there's a 30% chance something else could win. That's what the market is suggesting. Interestingly, I did a little bit of a check because I talked about the other day about over-round figures, and I don't want to go into loads of it. But the over-round figure, Paddy was the worst for this race, 130% at the time of making this video. 365 were probably the best of the sports books at 125%. Betfair Exchange isn't on odds checker yet. Matchbook Exchange is, and that was about 116%. This is not a race that the bookies would want you to go and get involved in if it stays 8 runner, because you've got such a strong favourite. There's some obvious place value. But what I'm doing is walking past horses 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th in the betting, and I'm going the horse bottom at the betting. Right. So, Rulabua, favourite. It's got the best bumper form, so that would absolutely make it favourite. It hasn't ever run over hurdles yet. So, if you were just solely looking at what they've achieved on the track in any format, Rulabua's got the best form because it's running quite a few bumpers and performed quite well in a couple of them. Now, things to watch out for Rulabua that I don't think means it's a 4-9 favourite. Soft is best. It's run twice on soft ground, and they were definitely its best performances. Hasn't run on solely good ground, which is what it's forecast to be at Market Rasen. It was due to run on Sunday at Fosslas, and they pulled it out with a vet certificate. That's a little bit of a niggle to me. It was a much bigger field race at Fosslas, and maybe they thought this is a better opportunity, and that's what it might be. But officially, it was a vet certificate, and on that basis, is there something not 100% with the horse? That would be a query. And it's never run on good ground. It's run those bumpers. It was soft and good to soft, so there's probably a query there. So it's got the best form. It should win. But there are plenty of reasons there. Soft ground, it hasn't got. So it's good ground, pulled out on Sunday and never jumped a hurdle. Those are 3 reasons to go against Rulabua, or to say that there is question marks on Rulabua's form. Then you go down to Natus Vinciere, second favourite, about 5-1. All that horse has done is won a week point to point. So it's won a point to point. And sometimes in these maidens, you've got to work out how do you convert point-to-point form and bumper form. It's not a precise science. I've got ways in which I calculate it, but I would say the point-to-point in one was weak. The horse that was second has gone on to finish sort of mid-pack in a very, very average maiden. So the form is nothing special. So, it is a really, I'd say, below standard maiden race. It's pretty poor. They are mares, and generally you find it in mares only company at this sort of level, you might find it a bit weak like you do. But it's by no means a world of that horse. It's won a point to point, grand. I don't know what it beat. So it's second favourite at the moment. Because depending on what kind of publication, you might get a 1 by its name because it looks like it's only won 1 race, but that was a point to point. 3 miler. This is 2.5. So there's a question mark there because it's not jumped on hurdles before under rules. And then you go third favourite, Zarhanya, 6-1. It's only run once in a bumper at Cheltenham, which was pretty decent, to be honest. And then Sean Bowen is due to ride it, and that will mean it's artificially lower because he's the number 1 jockey in the race as far as kind of form and last couple of years ago. So Sean Bowen riding it, and the bumper form was at Cheltenham. Those are things that people will look at. But then again, the fact is it's been off the track quite a while. I think off track quite a while. And it was due to run in September on good to soft ground, and that was ruled out as a non-runner on the ground. So it's been good ground for a while on most tracks. So obviously there's a question mark about why they haven't run it yet in a maiden race, because that was September. We're now November. That's 2 months. There's been plenty of opportunities to run a horse on good ground. So I'm not 100% sure what the crack is for that horse, because they ruled it out on the basis of ground when the ground's been suitable for the last couple of months. So query on that one. Then we go down to Fireball Frenzy 11-1. It won a point to point. The point to point it won was way better than Natus Vinciere one, definitely. The problem with that horse is it then ran in a maiden and pulled up. And that was after, and going off single figures as well, so it wasn't unfancied, although it was a bit of a drifter on the day, if you actually look back. So that horse has got a question mark against it because it's pulled up in a maiden. And then you've got fifth Pepite de Safiere. That's run in I've got one maiden 11 months ago. Not great strong form. Rhiannon Ring, running one bumper, it was poor. 2 maidens, it was poor. And when I mean poor, it wasn't last. It just, the quality was really, really low. Then you've got Très Bien. That's running 2 maidens. It pulled up in both of them. That's the 7 horses, right? Then you get to After Midnight. After Midnight. Why do I like that? So it's running 3 maidens. Looked a dodgy jumper on the first, unseated the jockey. Then pulled up in the second. And then came 7th to 7th in the last, right? So if you look at that form, unseat, pulled up, 7th to 7th, then you go, okay, well, I can see why that horse is the rank outsider. It doesn't tell you the full story. In the race, it was 7th of 7th in, which I think was a novice race. It was 34 lengths last, as in the winner won the race and it was 34 lengths behind it. But the winner was already gone on this season and won a Grade 2. So it actually was a decent standard of race. So although it was 7th of 7, it got beaten by a horse that went on to won a Grade 2. Was it Valsard, something like that. And so, yeah, you kind of go, well, yeah, right, it was last, but it wasn't that far away from a Grade 2 horse, 34 lengths. And in this context, that's an interesting point. It actually ran reasonably its bumpers. Again, if you compare the bumper form to Rhiannon Ring, you'd sort of say that maybe it looks similar, but actually I think the quality of the bumpers that After Midnight was in are slightly better. So actually, when I worked it out, 6 horses in this race that have run in bumpers, and After Midnight, I made it the 3rd best bumper performance of 6. So 2 of them haven't ridden in bumpers, 6 have out of 8, and it's the 3rd best form. Despite the fact it is come 7th to 7th, I rated that the best piece of hurdle form of any of the 4 horses that have run in a hurdle so far. So you are clutching a little bit and going, and because you're talking about who's going to try, because I'm not going to tell you I've got an encyclopedic knowledge of the trainer of After Midnight, because it's not someone I've come across before. So there you go. But yeah, they only have a few horses. They get the odd winner. They have had a couple of horses run in maidens and win. So it does happen. But yeah, first best hurdle form of 4 hurdle performances, and the 3rd best bumper form of 6 horses. That's where I got to. 34 lengths behind a Grade 2 winner. So it's not as bad as what it looks like. But what I'm looking at is, and I'll spin it through you again very quickly here. You've got a favourite that is on ground unknown, got pulled out at the weekend hurdle debut. You've got a second favourite, won a week point to point. This is its first time under rules, so you don't quite know what to make of it. 3rd horse, midfield and a bumper. That's all it's done. And it's already been a non-runner on a potential hurdle debut. You've got a 4th favourite that pulled up in its maiden. You've got a 5th favourite that was midfield in a race once 11 months ago. You've got a 6th favourite that just basically looks poor, and this is its last run before qualifying for handicapped. And then you've got a 7th favourite that pulled up in 2 maidens. So when I'm saying to you, I've then got the rank outsider at 200 to 1, third best piece of bumper form and best piece of hurdle form. None of that form is brilliant, but it's better compared to what there is in the field. I think there's tons of value in 200 to 1. So yeah, I'd probably be, if I was doing regular videos, I could be sat here at 25 to 1 and saying it's probably a 1-star bet. So the fact it's 200 to 1 means it's come out to me as a 5-star bet. All right. There you go, right? You make your case. I've made my case. You make your decision about whether or not I've lost my mind or not. It's not the first horse I've put up at a price like that, and it wouldn't, if it did manage to frame, it wouldn't be the first horse that I've put up at a price that has framed. Very famously on this channel, if you roll back, I mean, I don't want to be those people. Oh yeah, remember what happened 82 years ago on the channel, but it's one of those little small things I'm very proud of. I've been doing this channel for 4 weeks, and I put up a 250 to 1 horse, managed to come third. I've only had a few since then. I've done at decent prices, but yeah, after midnight, 5-star horse on the basis it's just massive odds compared to what it should be, because I can pick a hole in everything else. I could pick a hole in that one, but if I actually look at that form, it is not 200 to 1 bad form. That's what I'm saying. The horse could still come last. It could still ship off Harry Bannister into the side netting. Anything can happen. So what I'm saying to you is make your choice. Be careful. It's clearly unlikely to win the race, but an 8-runner race. And the thing I should say as well, if you do lose a horse, if that Rulabua goes out because they took it out on Sunday, I'd still... you'd probably be find yourself in quite a good position, even though there's a Rule 4, because the market will dramatically shift as a result if that horse did come out again. I think you'd find yourself in a favourable position backing it now with the 200 to 1 compared to what it would be if that favourite comes out and it becomes a 7-runner. So there we go. All right, that's a long chat and chunter about after midnight, a 200 to 1 shot that most likely will come tailed off last. But I'm suggesting to you it's the best horse I've put out in 2 months. All right. Maybe you'll never see me again after this video. Maybe that'll be it. Maybe that's the last nail in. That's me done. Who knows? But maybe I'll come back with my tail between my legs. I will see you on the next video if there is one. And that is me. I'm going to bed. I'm knackered. Thank you very much. Bye bye.